Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, guys. This news just dropped and it's huge. We're talking about a blockbuster trade that's shaking up the NFL landscape, especially in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks, who are sitting at 4-2 and are definitely in the thick of playoff contention, made a move that could redefine their defensive future, and by extension, their chances of making a deep postseason run. And it's all about the trade involving Kansas City Chiefs and a key player, Trent McDuffie, along with a promising wide receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba. This isn't just your routine trade rumor. Insiders like Adam Schefter are buzzing about this, and the details are fascinating. So let's break it down. The Chiefs, who are currently 5-0 and sitting pretty with a cap space of around $14 million, decided to send McDuffie to Seattle in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, plus the young wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. This trade isn't just about acquiring a talented cornerback. It's a strategic move by the Chiefs to bolster their offensive weaponry, especially their wide receiver core. They're focusing heavily on their offense, which ranks 5th in points scored per game with an average of 32. The idea here is clear. The Chiefs want to keep their Super Bowl window wide open, and they're willing to trade a young, talented cornerback to do it. But at the same time, they're also taking a calculated risk. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, who are currently positioned as one of the most intriguing teams in the NFC, are making a statement. They're reinforcing their secondary with a proven Pro Bowler, Trent McDuffie, who is in the midst of a stellar 2024 season. And trust me, the numbers speak for themselves. McDuffie, drafted in 2022 out of Washington, is not just a solid corner, he's a game changer. In 2024, he's racked up about 80 tackles, ranking among the top 10 among cornerbacks, and has been a ball-hawking machine with 4 interceptions, placing him in the top 12 in the league. His EPA per snap is a remarkable plus 0.16, which puts him in the elite category, and his PFF grade of 87. One is 6th best among all corners. What makes McDuffie such an enticing addition for the Seahawks is his ability to shut down top receivers. His coverage rating of 72.3 ranks him among the top 8 in the league, and his YAC allowed of just 2.6 yards per catch is outstanding. This means he's not only intercepting passes, but also limiting yards after the catch, which is crucial in today's NFL. His completion percentage allowed is just 48%, again showing how tight his coverage is, especially against some of the league's best wideouts. And he's proven to be versatile, excelling both in man and zone coverage. His career stats, with 200 tackles, 9 interceptions, and 30 pass deflections, show consistency and playmaking ability. Even his injury history, like a shoulder injury in 2025 that cost him a game, hasn't slowed him down. Now, for the Seahawks, adding McDuffie isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about elevating their entire secondary. With Witherspoon returning in Week 8 after recovering from a knee injury, and Woolen still battling a concussion, the Seahawks secondary has been in a bit of a crisis. But McDuffie's arrival is like injecting fresh energy into a defense that's been trying to find stability. His projection for the Seahawks: well, the numbers suggest he could add around 8 INTs over the rest of the season, reduce opposing pass yards to about 160 yards per game, and boost overall coverage efficiency by roughly 20%. That's a massive upgrade. Imagine McDuffie shadowing the league's top receivers, like Diggs, and making life miserable for them. His slot coverage win rate against guys like Diggs could improve by 22%. And with Mafe, who's already recorded 6 sacks this season, the pass rush gets even more dangerous. The Seahawks defense, which was already ranked 8th in pass yards allowed per game, could see that ranking jump into the top 3 if McDuffie performs as expected. This means Geno Smith and the Seahawks' offense will have a stronger defensive backbone, giving them more confidence to push the ball downfield. Speaking of Geno Smith, he's quietly putting together a solid season with around 400 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. He's been efficient, and with the secondary tightening up, he could be even more effective. The Seahawks are also looking at their odds to reach the Super Bowl, which have shortened significantly, from plus 4,000 to plus 2,000, indicating that the betting markets are waking up to the fact that Seattle is a legitimate contender. The NFC West, generally considered a competitive division, now has the Seahawks as one of the favorites, with odds improving to plus 200. This move with McDuffie isn't just a short-term fix, it's a statement that Seattle is all in on competing at the highest level. Now, let's talk a little about the strategic implications. The Chiefs, on the other hand, are betting on their offensive firepower and depth at wide receiver, which is why they're comfortable letting go of McDuffie. They're focused on their offense, which has been outstanding this season, and they're confident in their secondary's ability to hold up. But there's always a risk. Losing a young, talented corner like McDuffie could hurt them if their secondary falters, especially since the NFL is increasingly passing heavy. The comparison to the Patriots after losing Gilmore isn't accidental. It's a reminder that a volatile secondary can be a weakness if not managed carefully. For the Seahawks, this trade could be the turning point that pushes them from a good team into a true contender. McDuffie's impact should be immediate, and the projections suggest he might even surpass expectations. His shadowing of top receivers, like Diggs, will be key in upcoming matchups, especially against high-powered offenses. The Seahawks are already showing signs of a resilient team, and adding a player of McDuffie's caliber in their secondary could be the final piece needed to secure a deep playoff run. Remember, the NFC is wide open this year, and with the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys also in the mix, every advantage counts. And let's not forget the broader picture. This trade also reflects a shift in how teams are building their rosters, emphasizing versatile, young, ball-hawking defenders and dynamic offensive weapons. The NFL landscape is evolving, and the Seahawks are clearly positioning themselves as serious contenders. McDuffie, in green and white, is not just another player. He could be the X factor that tips the balance in the Seahawks' favor come playoff time. His ability to shadow top receivers, combined with the Seahawks' improving pass defense, makes them a real threat. And if he performs as projected, we could be looking at a player who elevates the entire secondary to elite status, making Seattle's defense one of the toughest in the league. So, in summary, this trade is more than just a player swap. It's a strategic move that signals the Seahawks' ambitions. They're investing in their defense, improving their chances to dominate in the NFC, and setting themselves up for a serious shot at the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are betting on their offensive firepower, confident that their core can carry them deep into the playoffs. But for us, as fans of the Seahawks, this is incredibly exciting. It's a sign that the team is not just aiming to be good, but wants to be great, with McDuffie as a cornerstone of their future. The season is shaping up to be one of the most thrilling in recent memory, and this move adds a whole new layer of anticipation for what's to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Seahawks have a lot of tough matchups, but with McDuffie now in the fold, they have a real shot at dominating their division and making noise in the postseason. Their schedule will test their secondary, especially against high-octane offenses, but if McDuffie lives up to his potential, he could be the difference-maker in critical games. Fans should keep an eye on how he adjusts to the Seahawks system and how quickly he can gel with Witherspoon and Woolen, who, despite injury concerns, are key pieces of this puzzle. And what about the long term? Well, McDuffie's contract situation and his performance could set the tone for the Seahawks' defensive strategy in the coming years. If he continues to develop and becomes a lockdown corner, Seattle might not need to look elsewhere for secondary help. This trade, in many ways, is a vote of confidence in their young core, and a statement that they're building a team capable of competing at the highest level for years to come. For the Chiefs, this move might seem like a gamble, but it's also a calculated risk. They're betting on their offensive talent and depth at wide receiver, with Jackson Smith-Njigba potentially becoming a key piece alongside Hollywood Brown. The focus on the offense makes sense given their current stats and the desire to keep their Super Bowl window open. But losing McDuffie could come with its own risks, especially if injuries strike or if their secondary struggles against top-tier receivers. Still, the Chiefs' confidence in their offense is clear, and they're willing to sacrifice a promising young corner for future draft capital and a developing receiver. As Seahawks fans, we have every reason to be excited. This trade signals a shift in the team's approach, emphasizing defense and playmaking. It's a move that could finally push them over the edge into serious Super Bowl contention, especially if players like McDuffie can replicate and surpass their current performances. The division is heating up, and with this addition, the Seahawks are making it clear that they're not just participating, they're aiming to dominate. The road to the postseason just got a lot more interesting, and the anticipation for the rest of the season is sky high. So guys, what do you think? Is McDuffie the missing piece for the Seahawks? Can he help them become one of the top defenses in the league? And how do you see this affecting their playoff prospects? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters, and I want to hear what you think about this bold move. Remember, I'll be back soon with even more updates, analysis, and insider news. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our Seahawks through what promises to be an unforgettable season. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Seahawks.